The claws touched his throat before Marcus Chen even realized someone had moved. Commander Vera stood inches from him. Her violet eyes glowed in the dim light of the officers' mess hall. The ship's night cycle meant the room was empty. Only the quiet hum of the engines filled the silence. Her silver scales shimmered faintly. "You smell like fear," she whispered. Marcus forced himself not to move. The Ketheri were predators. Everyone in the Human Alliance fleet knew that. Their species had ruled half the Orion Arm long before humans discovered faster-than-light travel. Standing this close to one was never comfortable. But standing this close to Commander Vera was something else entirely. Marcus swallowed slowly. "Maybe," he said carefully. Her pupils narrowed as she studied his face. "Interesting." For 3 months Marcus had served aboard the ESV Dominion, a joint human Ketheri warship fighting pirates and raiders near the outer colonies. And for 3 months he had never understood Commander Vera. Sometimes she treated him like prey. Other times like a puzzle. Tonight felt like both. Her claws pressed slightly harder against his throat. Marcus stayed still. Then suddenly she laughed. The sound was low and dangerous. She stepped back and walked to the bar counter. "Drink with me, Lieutenant Chen." It was not a request. Nothing the commander said was ever a request. Marcus walked forward slowly. The bar lights reflected off bottles filled with strange alien liquids. Vera poured 2 glasses of a glowing purple drink. She handed one to him. Their fingers brushed. Her skin was smooth and cool. Marcus's heart skipped for a moment. "You have been avoiding me," she said without looking at him. "I've been doing my job, Commander." "Liar." She turned toward him. "You run every time I enter a room." Marcus took a sip of the drink. It burned like fire going down. "I thought Ketheri enjoyed honesty," he said. "We do." She stepped closer again. "So be honest." Marcus sighed. "Fine. You make me nervous." Her lips curled slightly. "Good." She drank from her glass while watching him. Nervous humans are honest humans. Marcus wasn't sure if that was an insult or a compliment. The drinks kept coming. 1 turned into 2. 2 turned into 5. The Ketheri liquor spread warmth through Marcus's chest. The tension slowly faded. And surprisingly, Vera began talking. Not like a commander. Like a person. She talked about the war. About losing her clutch sisters during a battle near Proxima. About the loneliness of command. Marcus listened quietly. He had never seen this side of her before. "You humans are strange," she said eventually. "How?" "You are fragile." Her claw gently traced his jawline. "So temporary." She leaned closer. "Like small flames." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "That doesn't sound like a compliment." "I could extinguish you easily," she whispered. Marcus met her gaze. "Then why don't you?" For a moment neither of them moved. Her eyes searched his face. Then she spoke softly. "Because fire is beautiful." Her voice dropped. "And I am very cold." 10 minutes later, Vera collapsed against his shoulder. She had fallen asleep. Marcus stared at her in disbelief. The most feared Ketheri commander in the fleet. Drunk. And asleep on him. "Great," Marcus muttered. He carefully lifted her. Carrying a Ketheri commander through the ship corridors was probably the stupidest thing he had ever done. But leaving her there was worse. Her quarters smelled faintly like ozone and strange alien flowers. Marcus placed her gently on the bed. Suddenly her hand shot out. She grabbed his wrist with terrifying strength. "Stay," she mumbled. Marcus froze. "Commander." "My name is Vera." Her eyes remained closed. "Everyone wants something from the commander," she whispered. Her grip tightened slightly. "No one wants anything from Vera." Marcus looked at her for a long moment. Then he sat down in a chair beside the bed. "All right," he said quietly. "I'll stay." Marcus woke up suddenly. The sound of running water echoed from the bathroom. He blinked. This was not his room. Then the memories came back. Oh no. The bathroom door opened. Vera stepped out wearing a thin robe. Her scales were still wet. She looked at Marcus calmly. You stayed. Marcus rubbed his eyes. You asked me to. I was intoxicated. You also had my wrist in a death grip. For a moment she looked embarrassed. Then she walked closer. What did I say last night? Marcus hesitated. A lot of things. Specifically. You said fire is beautiful. Her jaw tightened. And? You said you were cold. She stared at him silently. You will forget everything you heard, she said finally. That is an order. Marcus shook his head slowly. I don't think I can. Suddenly her hand grabbed his throat again. But this time it felt different. Her thumb rested on his pulse. You are afraid, she said. Not entirely. Her eyes widened slightly. You surprise me, Lieutenant. Marcus shrugged. You're terrifying. That is accurate. But also, he continued, when you look at me, I forget how to breathe. Vera went completely still. No one spoke. Finally she stepped back. You should leave, she said quietly. Before I do something we will both regret. Marcus walked toward the door. Before leaving, he looked back. For what it's worth, he said. I don't regret staying. The door closed behind him. Vera stood alone in the room. And for the first time in many years, Commander Vera felt uncertain. A week passed. Vera avoided Marcus. Not openly, but carefully. Briefings were shorter. Eye contact disappeared. The crew noticed. What did you do to the commander? Sergeant Morrison asked. Marcus sighed. Nothing. Morrison stared at him. She looked at you yesterday like. He stopped. Actually, I don't want to know. Marcus wished he didn't know either. The dreams were the worst part. Vera's voice. Her claws. Her eyes watching him in the dark. Then on the 8th day, the attack came. 3 pirate ships jumped from hyperspace. The Dominion shook violently. Explosions echoed through the corridors. Marcus ran toward his station. Then, the wall exploded. Everything went black. Marcus woke up in the medical bay. Pain filled every muscle. A Kethri medic leaned over him. He's conscious. Another voice answered. Leave us. Marcus turned his head. Vera stood beside the bed. Her armor was covered in purple blood. Not hers. The medic quickly left. Vera stepped closer. Her hand gently held his. You almost died, she said. Marcus managed a weak smile. Part of the job. Don't joke. Her voice cracked. Marcus stared at her. The calm commander was gone. In her place stood someone, afraid. I killed them, she whispered. Who? The raiders who attacked your section. Her claws trembled slightly. I killed them with my hands. Marcus blinked. You came for me. Her eyes met his. Yes. And that is a problem. Why? Because I abandoned the bridge. Marcus frowned. For me. Yes. Her voice became quieter. I do not understand what is happening to me. Marcus reached up slowly. He touched her face. Then maybe we figure it out together. Vera closed her eyes. And for the first time since Marcus had met her, she did not pull away. Months passed. Their secret did not stay secret for long. The crew noticed everything. Rumors spread across the ship. A human lieutenant. A Kethri commander. Together. Some approved. Some did not. Then the real problem arrived. A powerful Kethri warlord named General Karvek challenged Vera. He accused her of weakness. Of being corrupted by humans. Kethri tradition allowed only one response. A formal combat trial. Marcus stood beside her before the duel. This is my fault, he said. No, it is. She placed a claw gently on his chest. My people respect strength. Then show them human strength, Marcus replied. Vera smiled. You surprise me again. The arena filled with Kethri warriors. General Karvek was massive. His scales were dark crimson. You shame our species, he growled. You choose a human over your own kind. Vera stood calm. I choose strength. Humans are weak. Marcus stepped forward. Want to test that theory? The arena erupted with murmurs. Karvek laughed. You wish to fight me, little human? Marcus shrugged. Why not? Vera looked at him. Marcus, this is dangerous. Yeah. I noticed. Karvek stepped into the arena. If the human dies, your disgrace will end. Marcus rolled his shoulders. Let's see about that. The duel began. Karvek attacked first. His claws moved like lightning. Marcus dodged barely. The Ketheri were stronger. Faster. But humans had something else. Endurance. Marcus kept moving. Punching. Dodging. Getting back up. Minutes passed. Then something changed. The Ketheri watching realized something strange. The human wasn't quitting. Even after being thrown across the arena. Even after bleeding. Marcus stood again. And again. And again. Finally Karvek slowed. Breathing heavily. Marcus smiled through the blood. Getting tired. The arena fell silent. Vera watched with wide eyes. Humans were fragile. Yes. But they refused to stop. That was their strength. Marcus charged. One final punch struck Karvek's jaw. The massive Ketheri collapsed. The arena exploded with shocked noise. Marcus swayed. Barely standing. Vera caught him before he fell. Her voice echoed across the arena. Behold. She looked at the warriors. This is human strength. The crowd slowly began to roar. Not with anger. With respect. Karvek stood slowly. He bowed his head. The human is worthy. Vera helped Marcus stand. You just fought a Ketheri warlord, she whispered. Marcus grinned weakly. Does that mean I passed the trial? She smiled. Yes. Then she kissed him in front of the entire arena. The warriors roared with approval. Far above them the stars continued shining. And somewhere in the vast universe, a human flame had warmed the cold heart of a Ketheri commander. And neither of them would ever be the same again. Marcus remained in the medical bay for 2 weeks. Every day Vera visited. Not as commander. Just as Vera. She wore simple clothes instead of armor. Sometimes they talked for hours. About Earth. About Ketheri Prime. About war. About fear. And slowly, something changed between them. One evening Vera sat beside his bed quietly. My people choose partners differently than humans, she said. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Oh. Ketheri courtship involves trials. Trials. Combat. Tests of strength. Challenges. Marcus groaned. That sounds exhausting. Vera smirked slightly. I would go easy on you. That's not reassuring. She laughed softly. Then her expression turned serious. When I first met you, she admitted, I wanted to break you. Marcus blinked. That's comforting. Humans seemed weak. She looked at him carefully. But you stayed when you should have run. Her hand rested on his. That matters to my people. Marcus nodded slowly. We call that stubbornness. Vera shook her head. No. She said a strange word in Ketheri. Marcus felt the sound vibrate in his chest. What does it mean? She hesitated. The closest translation is, worthy adversary. Marcus frowned. That sounds like an enemy. It is more than that. She looked directly into his eyes. It is someone who challenges you. Someone who changes you. Her voice softened. It is also the word we use for a mate. The room fell silent. Marcus blinked slowly. I'm not proposing, he said quickly. Vera smirked. Ketheri courtship takes years. Good. But I want to try. Marcus studied her face. You're serious? Yes. She leaned slightly closer. But you must understand the danger. My people will test you. My enemies will target you. Marcus shrugged. That already happens. Vera's claws gently traced his jaw. You are either brave or foolish. Both. She smiled. Then she kissed him. The kiss was softer than Marcus expected. Warm. Careful. When she pulled away, her eyes were bright. There is something I should tell you, she said. What? The night you carried me home. She paused. I was not as drunk as I pretended. Marcus stared at her. You were testing me. I was hoping. For what? That you would stay. Marcus laughed weakly. You Kethri are insane. Possibly. She rested her forehead against his. But you stayed. Marcus smiled. Yeah. I did.
486. Wir haben ja schon eine Zelle hier bei uns, ne, die gerade auslöst. Ja, ich das hier gucken. Warte mal. Ja, die ist vor 2 Läufen. Hier ist irgendwo, seht ihr schon
Cheer, X Superich X haut 100 Bits
Irgendwo
raus.
muss Niederschlag
Cheer
sein.
100 Grüße aus Jena explizit nur an alle Ossis. Späßle, ich grüße niemanden.
Hinten links von dir über die Schulter. Vielleicht da so.
Ist da Niederschlag?
Ja, es sieht so ein bisschen aus.
Okay, wo?
Hinter links, hinter den Bäumen.
Das zieht hierher, ne?
Hinten das.